right, bet we're good. So, testing, testing, testing. All right, we're good. Let me just screenshot window projector preview. All right, so we're in action. So, you're watching this video. You're watching this video because you want to attain your dream physique this year, right? Whatever year this is, you want to attain your dream physique this year. And I don't want to harbor all this knowledge. I'm just gonna give you guys as much value as possible, right? Because if you guys know how to do this, this is gonna dramatically change your life, right? And instead of catching the fish for you, right, I'm actually going to teach you how to do it yourself. I'm gonna teach you how to actually fish. And there's a couple key things, right? So this is a full guide, so make sure you guys watch to the end of the video, right? And there's no flashy animations, there's no nothing. This is getting down to the nit and gritty part of whatever I'm talking about. And if you guys don't know, I run something called Valiant Physique, and it teaches you how to get your dream physique within a couple of months. And why should you listen to me? I've been working out for 17 years. I probably put up some B-roll of myself. I've been working out for 17 years, so I know a thing or two about getting myself to my dream physique. And working out for so long, you just don't go in and just do a couple of sets and walk out. Like you start to understand the mechanics behind getting your dream physique, because that's essentially why I work out, right? Aside from like the health benefits, like I work out to have my dream physique, and we're still compounding everything, right? And you get to a point where you're just fine and you just want to maintain it. So make sure you guys watch to the end of the video, right? If you're somebody that can't be consistent or can't like watch, however long this video ends out being, right? You might as well just click off this video right now, because you're literally just displaying that you can't, stick to something for more than 30 minutes. So how are you going to stick to something for a couple of months, right? So without further ado, let's dive right into it, right? So, full guide, how to transform your body into your dream physique, right? And there's a couple things that you have to understand. And the way I broke this up, it's presentation style. So, the first thing that you need to focus on is your mindset, right? I just talked about it. You have to focus on discipline rather than motivation, right? Focus on discipline rather than motivation. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you wait till you're motivated in order to do something, then you're just going to only work out for, like, let's say, how long do you stay motivated? Ask yourself that. How long do you stay motivated? And it's probably around like 2 days, right? A week max, right? How many people started going to the gym in the beginning of the year? You probably already fell off. If it's early in the year, I'll give it like 2 months max, right? You probably already fell off. And then you're back to the old routine in which you are, and basically you don't have the outcome yet, right? But if you stay disciplined, if you give yourself a clear goal, I'm gonna go to the gym for about 4 days a week or even 3 days a week, right? And then rain, shine, rain, shine, snow, whatever, you're still gonna stick to it, right? You're going to actually build that discipline muscle, and it's a compounding effect, right? You're going to still be compounding those results, and once you see those results, you're gonna have, like, that motivation is gonna come back. That motivation is actually gonna come back, and it's gonna be a compounding effect. You're gonna stay motivated for longer, and you're gonna be feeling great. So, discipline rather than motivation, right? So, no, number one, right? Assess your current standpoint slash position, right? So you gotta ask yourself all these questions, right? This is the assessment part. How bad is your situation, right? Are you extremely overweight? Are you really, really skinny? Like, assess your current situation. What have you been doing? Have you been sitting down, going to the gym? Have you been sitting down, going to the gym? Have you been on and off? Like, whatever you're doing, you're watching this video, right? So you are not doing the right thing, right? So keep watching the video. What have you been doing? Because you can't continue to do the same thing that you've been doing if you want a different outcome, right? It just doesn't make sense. If you have been working out, what worked and what didn't work? right? Jot that down, what worked and what didn't work, right? Know yourself. How much time can you allocate to changing your body, right? A day or even a week, right? Be realistic with yourself. How much do you weigh versus how much do you need to weigh, right? This is part of the assessment category slash your position. How much do you weigh? How much do you need to weigh, right? That's creating something called the gap. We're going to dive into that a little bit later on into the video, right? So, the second thing is define a clear and realistic goal. So if you're at 200 pounds, don't try to reach 150 pounds within a week, right? Have a goal physique that is plausible, right? If you're short and stocky, don't expect to look like a lengthy individual with a different frame, right? Too many people show me a frame that they don't have. Like, let's say if you're short and stocky, like I just said, right? Don't say, oh, I want to look like this, and I'll probably put a picture up. I want to look like this. You have to be realistic. Like basically, you have a certain frame. You're born with a certain frame, and you have to, live with it, right? If you I don't know if you guys watch The Lord of the Rings, but if you have kind of like a dwarf or I guess like a dwarf kind of like frame, don't expect to look like an elf. Like you have to like maximize your dwarf frame, right? And vice versa. If you look like a lengthy elf or something like that, right? Don't try to look like a short and stocky dwarf. I don't know if that analogy makes sense. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it in there, but you can both look great, but you will have differences based on your natural build. Whatever build that you're born with, whatever build that you have to maximize that frame. You have to maximize that build, and you're still gonna look good, right? It's just a different frame. So once you have your goal physique, right, and this is an action tip, I want you to pause the video, right? Wherever you are, pause the video and do this action tip, right? So pause the video and go online, whether if it's Instagram or Google, and find someone that has your natural frame slash build, whether if you're tall and lengthy, short and stocky, right? And then match, right? Get a goal physique, get somebody, right? That already maxed out that frame and just have that as a reference point, right? So pause the video and go and do that. You can go on Instagram or you could just go on Google and type in short and stocky, great physique, right? Or you probably 9 times out of 10, you probably already have that person in mind. You probably already have that build in mind. So you will use it as a reference roadmap to what you need to do, right? So pause the video and go do that. I'll wait for you. So intentionally create a gap, right? Once you have that photo, intentionally create a gap of where you are and where you need to be, right? Do you need to gain or lose weight? Are you overweight right now and you need to lose the weight and build muscle to look like that? Or do you need to just completely build muscle and gain weight to look like that, right? So just keep in mind that goal physique, right? Does like create a gap, right? Does your dream physique have huge shoulders versus you, right? Go go and look at your current physique, take a photo, look at your current physique, and look at their physique, and just go back and forth. Just keep on going back and forth, go back and forth. Now, once you go back and forth, you're gonna see differences, obviously, because you're not there yet, right? They're already at the end goal, right? You're not there yet. So notice the differences. Does your dream physique have huge shoulders versus you, lats, chest? And this is not only for guys, right? This is for females as well. Glutes, right? Females, like no notice the difference between your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, right? Right? And notice the gap of where you are and where you need to be. You are the craftsman or craftswoman of your own physique, right? You will work on one muscle at a time to emphasize certain points of your body, right? Now, I have here listed the Build-A-Bear analogy. The gym is literally like Build-A-Bear, right? You just go in, right? You choose which parts of your body you want to increase, right? hence like the build a bear, because you go in and you literally build your dream bear. You pick this, you pick that, you pick this, you pick that, right? You are the designer of your own physique. You are the designer. You are the designer of your own physique. You're literally going into the gym and you're choosing how you want to look, right? Your lifestyle dictates how you look, right? Like what muscles do you want to increase? What what build, what frame do you want to have, right? So that's the first section, defining a clear and realistic goal. So once you have a clear and realistic goal, right? Now we have to get you there, right? And getting there, right? Is great nutrition. Getting there, great nutrition is required. So nutrition is 80% of the job. With nutrition, you are giving your body the building blocks you need, right? Just have that in your mind. You are giving your body the building blocks you need. And with the workouts, right, you are giving instructions to the body on which muscles to grow. So the building blocks, like just picture a house, right? Picture a house. The nutrition, the food is literally the bricks, right? The bricks. But with working out, you're telling the body, right? You're telling whoever's building the house, right? How to build a house. You're telling where to put the bricks. You're telling your body which muscles need to grow. That's what working out does for your body, right? Because you're gonna notice like different sports have different like builds, right? Depending, I think there was this tribe in like India or something like that, right? And these guys, they they always carry something on their necks. They always carry like heavy things on their necks, and as a result of that, right, they have huge necks, right? Um, Arm wrestlers, right? Their arms are like that very arm that they use to like arm wrestle the dominant hand. That arm is very big, right? Track runners, it's like sprinters. They have huge quads because they're using their quads and hamstrings, right? Um, your body's literally a machine. Your body's the smartest machine on planet Earth, right? So as a result of working out certain muscles, right, those muscles will grow. So back to nutrition. So with nutrition, you need to realize, right? With nutrition, this is like kind of like the main thing, the cornerstone of knowledge in which you need to understand, right? So in nutrition, you have macros. Macros is short for macronutrients, and it's a term used to describe nutrients your body needs in large amounts, specifically carbohydrates, fats, and protein, right? So protein, they do most of the work in the cell and is required for structure, function, regulation of the body's tissues and organs, and predominantly what I'm talking about, building muscle, right? So carbs, our body breaks down carbs into glucose. Glucose or blood sugar is the main source of energy for your body cells, tissues, and organs, right? Uh, yeah, you're going to need carbs for energy, right? Fats, the body uses fats as a fuel source, and fat is the major storage form of energy in the body. Fat also has many other important functions in the body, and a moderate amount is needed in a diet for good health, right? People try to cut off fat. People say fat is bad, right? Fat is actually good, like the healthy fats, and you need fats, like avocados and stuff like that. People always try to say fat, like you just have to realize these things are actually good, right? So in regards to basic macros, here's some information regarding how much you are to consume per calorie each day. This is a rough estimate, so it can vary depending on person to person, depending on the goal, right? So this is a very rough estimate, right? And depending on the person, like I said before, you have to either skew it up or skew it down, which is basically like every person's different. Not one piece of information applies like to to one person or to apply to everybody, you have to really realize that with these rough macro and the rough equation, it's a numbers game, right? Not one piece of information is going to apply to everybody when it comes to something like this, because you do not have the same body, right? That's why some coaches and consultants, right, that sell programs and stuff like that, it gets me mad because you're just selling the same product to everybody, but you guys do not have the same body. It baffles me. So maintenance, right? So maintenance is just staying the same. Just think about it like just maintaining your body, right? Like let's say if you're 150 pounds and you want to stay 150 pounds, right? You have to go into maintenance. And usually maintenance is 15 calories per pound of body weight. So if you want to stay 150 pounds, you have to multiply 15 calories times 150 pounds. And then once you get uh then that means you have to that's basically telling you how much calories you have to eat per day, right, to maintain 150 pounds, right? So if you are physically active, take into consideration the calories that you are burning. And essentially what that means is, let's say if you do the math, I'm pretty sure it's 2000, so 150 times 15 calories would come out to 2000 calories, right? But you're physically active and you burn 300 calories per day, or if you burn 300 calories, that means you are in a deficit, right? Because you are maintaining the 2000 calorie threshold, you're under that. So if you burn 300 calories off of just work or just like walking, right, you're in a deficit, which means you are going to lose weight. So to stay at the same weight, you have to eat the same amount of calories. And how do you get that calorie amount? 15 calories per 1 pound of body weight, which is 2000 in the 150-pound example. I hope that makes sense. So the rough macros slash counter macros, right? So in order to get to your goal, you need to know about the building blocks that you're putting into your body, right? You can't eat too much, you can't eat too little, right? You need to actually know and keep track. Now, keeping track to me is very simple, but it might be difficult for you. And if you guys want help, counting these calories, just watch to the end of the video because I actually help you do that. And to get more information on how I can help you do that is towards the end of the video. So rough macros slash counting calories, right? So like I said before, this is basically just rough macros, right? So it can be either above or below, but you need to start at somewhere to find out if it's above or below, right? So just think of this as a baseline, and you need to tweak it. Either you basically need to increase or decrease the amounts of what I'm saying. So when counting calories, you need to pay attention to these three macros, right? So like I said before, proteins, fats, and carbs, right? So a day, right? And a normal day of eating, you need to, like I said, consume proteins, fats, and carbs, right? And you need to consume a very specific amount to reach your goal a day, right? And for protein, it's very simple to calculate how much protein you're supposed to eat a day, right? So this is basically how much macros you're supposed to eat in one day. So how much protein you're supposed to eat in one day? It's very simple, like I said before. It's roughly 1 gram per pound a day, right? Roughly 1 gram per pound a day, right? So we're going to just use a 150-pound person as example, right? So if you weigh 150 pounds, you are to eat 150 grams of protein a day, right? If you weigh 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein per day. It's very simple. It's just 1 to 1. So protein, that's pretty self-explanatory. Now with fats, right? Fats, you're supposed to eat zero point 0.3 grams to zero point 0.5 grams a day, right? And how do you get that? How do you get that amount? Or no. For fats, you're supposed to eat zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.5 grams times per body weight a day, right? Like I said, If it's confusing, just wait to the end of the video because I have a solution for the confusion. But like I said, this person that we have is 150 pounds, right? So how do you figure out how much fats you're supposed to eat, right? As a 150-pound person. Now, if you obviously if you don't weigh 150 pounds, just swap out the 150 pounds, right? And I hope you guys are writing this down. So, but this person that we have is 150 pounds, right? So 150-pound person can have, right? So how did I get 45, right, to 75 grams of fat per day, right? So I multiplied 150 times zero point 0.3, right? That's how you get 45. 150 grams times zero point 0.5 is 75. So this person is supposed to eat 45 grams, 45 to 75 grams of fat per day, depending on his goal and depending on how the rest of the numbers work out, right? So when you're counting your macros, this is counting macros. When you're counting your macros, you're supposed to figure out the proteins and fats, right? Once you have that amount, right? This is how much you're supposed to, this is what you're supposed to do to figure out how much carbs you're supposed to eat a day. So whatever is left once the calories of fat and protein are filled up, right? You fill it with carbs, right? So you figure out proteins and fats, and then the rest, right? You fill it out with carbs, right? So 150 grams of protein a day, right? 45 to 75 grams of fat per day, right? And hold on. So look, whatever is left once the calories of fat and protein are filled up, right? You fill it up with carbs. So how does this translate to calories, right? It's you kind of need to be like it's not hard, right? But this is how you get how much calories per gram you're supposed to eat, right? So this is just a rough, right? Like this right here, in 1 gram of protein, there are 4 calories, right? And 1 gram of carb, and one carb, right? There are 4 calories again, and in 1 gram of fat, there are 9 calories, right? There are 9 calories. So in this example, again, 150 pounds, right? So if that didn't make sense, just follow these numbers, right? And it might get a little confusing to you guys, right? So an example for a 150-pound person, right? So he's supposed to eat 2,000 calories per day. Where did I get 2,000? This is the maintenance, right? Because maintenance, right, if you want to stay the same, it's 15 times your body weight, right? So you get 2,000 calories per day, right? So with protein, how much calories and protein you're supposed to eat, right? So 150 grams times 4. Where did I get 4? Because that's the base conversion for 1 gram of protein, right? 1 gram of protein is equals to 4 grams of no 4 calories, right? So 150 grams times 4 calories comes out to 600 calories in protein, right? You do the same thing, the same principle for fats, right? So I chose in the right in the middle, so zero point 0.4 grams, right? So zero point 0.4 grams times 150 because that's his pounds, that's his pound in body weight, right? Let's put that in body weight, right? You get 60 grams, right? So zero point 0.4 times his body weight, which is 150, it equals 60 grams, right? And 60 grams times 9, right? And why I chose 9, 9 is the base conversion for 1 gram of fat, right? So 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories, right? So why am I multiplying 60 times 9? Because I want to know the calories that I'm supposed to eat in fats, right? So 60 grams times 9 calories equals 540 calories, right? So I told you how you figure out the carbs, right? How do you figure out how much carbs you're supposed to eat? Once you have the conversions for proteins and fats, right? You use that to figure out how much carbs you're supposed to eat. So I know how much calories I'm supposed to eat in proteins and fats, right? So 600 times or 600 plus 540, right? You got 1,140, right? So I told you a 150-pound person is supposed to eat 2,000 calories per day. So to find the remaining amount of calories you're supposed to fill it up with, right? This is the base, this is the total, right? This right here is the total 2,000. And then you have the fats and proteins. Now it's just left to the carbs. So what do you do to figure out the carbs? You subtract the total, which is 2,000, and then from no no you subtract this right here, the proteins and fats from the total, right? And you have leftover six, or you have 860, right? And to figure out how much grams that is, right? Remember I told you one carb equals 4 calories. You divide you do 860 divided by 4 for carbs to find out how much grams of carbs you're supposed to eat, and you get 215, right? And again, calories per gram of macro. One gram of protein is 4 calories. 1 gram of carb, one carb is four calories, and 1 gram of fat is nine calories, right? That's a handful. That's kind of confusing, I know, but hopefully you guys follow through. If you guys have any questions, shoot them down below, or just wait to the video and there's a solution, right? So what to eat? I don't really harp on what to eat too much, right? Because once you have the calories, it's pretty much self-explanatory, right? And also, I don't want to tell. I'll just read this, right? For every culture has their own form of healthy food. The base of what we have to eat to achieve our goals are protein, carbs, and fats, right? I can come up with a meal plan for you, but it's easier for you if you work with what you have, right? Plus, cut out any harmful ingredients that you might be ingesting, right? Every culture has their own form of food, whether if it's rice and chicken from Africa or rice and chicken from India, right? Or uh, you know, China, right? Like Asia, culture has their own form of food. So I don't really want to tell you exactly what to eat. I can, right? And if we work one on one, right, or work in a group or community, I can help you further with that. But it's easier, right, if you just work with what you have. You have healthy food in your house, right? Healthy food is not complicated, right? You just need to eat natural, eat what your culture provides, right? And be smart and, apply how much you're supposed to eat via like macros, and you'll be good, right? But the one thing I will tell you to do is completely cut out sugar, because added sugar is the key root of evil in your diet, right? Added sugar will destroy you. Our bodies are not designed to ingest such thing. So stick to natural foods, right? And I have this little diagram to just show you guys, right? Healthy food pyramid, sweets and processed food, that's a no-go. Anything like this, it's destroying you, right? You got to stick to natural foods, right? Eggs, fish, and fat-free dairy, right? Seeds, nuts, avocado, fruits, vegetables, right? Rice, like grains and stuff like that. Yeah, like healthy food is self-explanatory, right? You guys know what you guys should be eating. You guys know what you shouldn't be eating. So just apply that and just keep track of the macros and you'll be good, right? So now we're moving on to closing the weight gap. The gap, you guys should know what the gap is. The gap is literally where you are to where you want to be, referring to that photo that you guys seen. And so by now you should know if you need to lose or gain weight, if you need to be in a deficit or surplus, right? A deficit is basically losing weight. A surplus is basically gaining weight. If you're really skinny, you need to put yourself in a surplus to actually gain the weight and build the muscle. If you're overweight, you need to be in a deficit, right? You need to lose the weight, right? And this is my latter thesis, right? Create a plan for your goal weight, and don't jump straight into the macros for your end goal, right? And I'm gonna tell you guys what that means. If you're 200 pounds and want to be, 140 pounds, right? don't calculate the macros for 140, right? And jump straight right into it, right? This is how you actually lose the weight, right? You need to calculate the macros. So in that example, I used 150, right? So you might think, oh, how should I lose the weight? What macros should I uh, calculate, right? So calculate the macros in a ladder format, right? So calculate in that same example I showed you, calculate the macros for 180, right? If you're 200 pounds, and then get there, right? Then 160, then 140. Hit each goal and pace yourself safely, right? Because if you're 200 pounds and you calculate the macros for 180, you're in a deficit, right? But you're in a slight deficit, right? It's not like you're 200 pounds and you're calculating the macros for 140 because you're barely going to be eating. That's too fast. You're going to be losing weight too fast, too soon. You're going to be out of whack, and there's going to be a huge bounce back, right? So you would want to calculate the macros for 180, hit that goal, and then go to 160 and then 140, right? So losing weight, this is actually losing weight. What do you need to do, or what do you need to know about losing weight? I hope this is making sense for you guys. If you guys like the video so far, like, comment and subscribe if you aren't already, and we're gonna keep going. So what do you need to know about losing weight, right? So you have to be below the maintenance, right? Maintenance is keeping the weight, right? So you have to be below that level to keeping the weight, right? So be below maintenance, which is going to be, which translates to being in a deficit, right? So start weight loss instruction. So how to be in a deficit, right? So the first thing you need to know is being in a calorie cut, right? So let's say if you're 200 pounds and you want to be in 180, you want to be 180, right? So you obviously need to be in a deficit, right? And how to be in a deficit, I would say, like, because losing weight is all about eating and like working out, right? So cut the calories, right? You need to be in a deficit. Let's say if you need to be in, you know, a 300 calorie deficit, cut 150 calories out, right? Do the math, cut 150 calories out, and then the remaining calories, lose it by weight training, right? Lose that by weight training. Don't just cut out the calories. Don't be in the deficit fully by cutting out the calories. Cut out the calories, right? Half of it, and then use the other half. Lose the other half by weight training, right? Your goal, you might say, is too slow, but lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, right? 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's safe and healthy. That's recommended by everybody, right? I'm not like a nutritionist professional, just putting that out there, but it's known. You can search it up, right? This is the healthiest way to do it, the safest way to do it, and the most reliable way to do it, right? Just think about if you're investing, you don't want to throw $1 million into one investment, right? You would want to like invest slowly over time, right? So lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, right? Hit your goal, right? What I said with that ladder thesis, hit 180, right? Then stay there for a little bit, maintain that, then resume, and then hit the goal, and then repeat until you hit your goal. So go from if you're 200 pounds, go from 200 to 180, then 160, then 140, right? And this is just a rough estimate on a deficit and how much pounds you can, you know, think about losing with this deficit. So 500 calorie deficit from baseline diet, 1 pound a week, you're gonna lose 1 pound a week. 750, 1.5 pounds a week. 1,000, 2 pounds a week, right? And I don't recommend 1,000. That's like kind of crazy. Just go slow. Just 1 pound a week. You're gonna be good. Within 1 month, you're gonna lose 4 pounds, right? Within 2 months, 8 pounds, and you're gonna notice a huge difference. 3 months, 12 pounds, right? And once you start to master it and feel comfortable, right? Like you can bump it up, and next thing you know, you're down 20 pounds. It's as easy as that. So how to create the deficit? So this is what I was saying before. You need to cut out X amount of calories from your diet, right? So X amount, we don't know that because it's for you, right? Try to get at least half the cut by adding activity. So cut out whatever you can cut out and try to get at least half the cut by adding activity. Easiest and healthiest way. Cut out as much as you can. So so make a cut, right? Do this in order. Cut the calories by be in that deficit by adding activity, right? Working out, going to the gym. That's what you need to do, right? Get to a point if you need to cut out more, right? Cut out the rest that you can from fats until you get to zero point 0.3 grams. Don't go below zero point 0.3 grams because fats are healthy. You need fats, right? And then after that, once you hit that point 0.3, right? Cut out what is left from carbs, right? Cut out whatever is left from carbs. It's that easy. The goal should be, right? So let's say if your goal is 200 from 200 to 150, right? Try to hit 140 pounds because you got to give yourself a pocket, right? Because once you hit that goal, right, it's more than likely that you're going to bounce back up a 5 to 10 pounds, but it's okay because let's say if your goal is 150, you were 140, right? If you gain 5 to 10 pounds, you're still going to be at your goal, 150 pounds, right? So phases of weight loss. That's why I came up with that uh, uh, ladder thesis, right? You don't want to just lose all the weight in one shot, right? Lose the weight, small weight, maintain it, will lose weight, maintain it, lose weight, maintain it, right? And so fat loss phase, then a maintenance phase behind it, right? Fat loss phase, maintenance phase behind it. Keep on doing that until you reach your goal, right? It should be in phases, right? So maintenance phase, stick to diet foods, right? You are not done dieting once the cut is finished. You must maintain it. It's a new lifestyle, right? People that never eat, they're always skinny because that's their lifestyle. People that are fat, right? People that are overweight, right? That's their lifestyle. So they're gonna stay like that. They're gonna stay overweight. This is your new lifestyle, right? You can't expect to lose the weight and switch up what you're doing and expect to look the same. You have to stay like that. That's your new lifestyle. This is a better way of living. You're gonna love it. Get used to it, right? So now we just covered weight loss, right? Now this is, surplus. This is like gaining weight. So what do you need to know about a lean bulk? Lean meats, lean dairy, carbs, veggies, fruits, whole grains, right? And you basically need to be above maintenance. Maintenance is that base level. So maintenance is basically staying the same, right? You need to be above maintenance. So you need to eat more than usual, right? If you need to gain weight, if you're skinny, this is for you, right? So start your lean bulk, right? So this is very, very simple, right? Bulking is simple, right? You just need to eat, right? You just need to eat. So surplus ratio, increase caloric intake, right? Goal is reverse of, losing weight 1 to 2 pounds per week. That should be your goal. Don't go too fast. Don't go too slow. 1 to 2 pounds per week, right? So this is the surplus. This now, guys, get ready for this. This is extremely easy. Drum roll. Since this is how many calories you should eat to attain your caloric surplus, right? So take your body weight. Let's say if you're at 110 or 100 pounds, right? Take your body weight in pounds, right? And multiply it times 16.5. Where did I get to 16.5? This is the recommended amount. Now, if you remember, if you multiply your body weight times 15, that's what you get for that's the amount that you get to stay the same, right? So I added 1.5 to the multiplication factor, right? 16.5. You eat that amount to gain weight, right? And as you start to gain weight, right, like that is eventually going to become your maintenance. There's going to be a time where you're not going to gain weight and you just got to keep on doing it, right? Take your new weight, multiply it 16 times zero point 0.5, right? It's very simple. 1 to 2 pounds a week. You're going to gain by doing that, right? And again, ladder thesis, create a plan for your weight, your goal weight. Don't jump straight into the macros for your end goal, right? Surplus ratios. Take your current body weight. I'm gonna say it again. Take your current body weight in pounds. Multiply it times 16.5, right? This will increase in a 0.25 to 0.5% weight gain per week, right? And that's how you gain the weight, right? And now we're getting to my favorite part, right? This is actually designing your physique, right? And I know you guys can't wait. Thank you guys for staying to the rest of the video, I shouldn't be thanking you guys because you guys are going to, actually utilize this. If you guys want to stay, stay. Nah, I guess not. So, designer physique introduction and thesis, right? So this is where like this is the thing, this is what you're here for, right? So working out is 20% of the task, right? And nutrition is 80%, but this 20% like is very important too. Like I said before, nutrition plays nutrition provides the building blocks for your goal, right? But actually working out, right, gives instructions to your bodies on which muscles to grow, right? So I want to give you guys a new look at working out, right? You have to be a smart designer, design your own physique, right? So you guys have a new goal, right? Change your physique, which means you must get more intelligent, right? So you cannot do the same things that got you nowhere, right? You cannot do the same things that got you nowhere. So you have to be scientific about working out. It's a form of science. In nutrition, we got real technical, right? Working out is no different. It's still, a bodily function. You have to get really intentional and really, scientific about what you're doing. This is a form of science, right? So you should know the gap, right? And I keep talking about the gap. The gap is very, very, very important. So know where you are, right? Versus where you want to be, right? So where you want to be, right? You have to, there's a huge gap in there, right? So you have that photo that I told you to have, right? And it's two photos, like a photo of yourself and what you want to look like, right? To get there is a gap, right? So you know muscles you need to grow, right? In order to fill the gap, right? Decide what muscles need to grow versus what doesn't, right? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to explain, right? Designer physique thesis, right? Design design your physique. So with working out, what people don't pay attention to, right, is a detail to muscle groups, right? So with every muscle, there are sub muscles, right, in that group, right? There are muscles, right, two or more. And an example, right? So for chest, right, you have the upper, the middle, and then the lower, right? So people say work out chest, and you might just go in there and do bench, but what you don't know is that bench only covers right here, like flat bench, right? So what you don't know, like the upper, middle, and then lower, right? You have to be really intentional about what you do, right? And I'm just about the body right here. This is the body, the human body. It's usually two or more. So in the chest, you have the upper, the middle, and then the lower, right? And I'm gonna get into it on why that is important. And then for females, right, you have the glutes, right? So it's the same thing as the chest. I chose this specifically because I think it's congruent, right? Girls are attracted to chest, guys are attracted to the glutes, right? It's literally kind of like the same thing. Like guys are counterparts to females, right? Guys focus on the upper part of the body, females focus on the lower part of the body. Like you can equate certain muscles to each other, right? Via their counterpart, guys and girls, right? So for glutes, you have the medius, the maximus, and then the minimus, right? Three parts of the glutes. You just don't go in the gym and you just do glutes, right? You have to be very intentional on what you work out. But notice that there are three muscles in the glutes, right? Three muscles in the glutes. So knowing this, and this ranges to the whole body, right? The whole body, like there's certain muscles, right? Certain functions that target certain muscles, right? And you can grow those muscles literally by feeding your body the right building blocks and doing the right workouts, right? So this is what I'm getting at. Knowing this concept allows you to literally be the designer of your own physique. Fill the gap with me intentional about workouts to do, right? And I'm going to actually teach you guys how to do this, right? If you haven't already put one and two together, this is what I'm telling you, right? Get a muscle diagram, right? This is how you do this. Get a muscle diagram of the human body, right? Use this effort as a reference to know which muscles to pay attention to when coming up with your workout plan, right? Search up workouts revolving around the muscles and put it into a plan, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. Nelson define his gap where he is versus where he wants to be, right? For his dream physique, he requires broad shoulders, which is just one aspect, right? This is when he's building up his plan, right? Just one aspect, right? Get a diagram of the shoulder muscle, right? So Nelson, he doesn't have shoulders, right? And for his dream physique, he wants wide shoulders, right? So what if I was Nelson, what I would do, right? I notice the gap he needs his shoulders, right? And to get his dream physique, he needs wide shoulders, right? Look at where I'm pointing to, wide shoulders, right? So how does he activate this muscle? He would say he would type in, lateral deltoid workouts, right? And just target that. Lateral deltoid workouts. Target the whole shoulder, but put an emphasis on lateral shoulder workout. Medial or shoulder workouts, right? Lateral deltoid workouts, right? So select the workouts. Nelson should select workouts that hit his gap target submuscles, right? For his goal, he needs wide shoulders, so he would work out all muscle groups of the shoulder, but pay attention to the lateral deltoid to give width to his shoulders from a front view, right? And you should, do that throughout the whole body, right? That's just one aspect, right? But uh let's say if Mariam wanted, designer glutes, right? And she's completely flat. Or let's say it just looks a little weird, right? Like the top part is like very, very like prominent, but the bottom part is just in, right? Why is she gonna do the top part? She should only be doing the bottom part, the minimus, right? So search up workouts target the minimus, right? Her glutes and focus on that, right? And you would probably want to focus on hamstrings too, right? To have that full look. And we're gonna get into it a little bit more too, right? Like for him, let's say if he wanted wider shoulders, right? He would focus on the lateral part, just like, Nelson, right? If he wanted to increase his shoulders, focus on the lateral part. That if I was him, that's what I would do. Because if you want to have that valiant physique, focus on the side part of your shoulders, right? So now we have, just selected workouts, right? Because this is basically where you would want to be, right? This is very, very like balanced physique. Guys would find this attractive, right? These are gym girls. These girls have been working out, right? These are girls on the gram. Everything is well rounded, quads. It's very proportionate, and like an hourglass figure, right? So this girl right here, like let's say if she wanted to look like that, she could look like that, right? And I chose this picture specifically because these two girls kind of have the same frame, but they look different. Same frame, but they look completely different. So like they both have thigh gaps, right? So the frame is there, but how do you get from this to that, right? Like number one, she needs to focus on her quads, right? Don't just go into the gym and just do legs, right? And just say, "Oh, I'm done with legs." You have to specifically do quads, right? Right? Specifically do hamstrings because that's a side profile, right? How do you get this look? It's your quads. You need to focus on your quads, right? How do you get the look back here? You need to focus on your hamstrings, right? Let's say if this girl didn't have hamstrings, right? It'd just be a straight line. It would look very weird. But she knew that she has to like, she knows that she has to even everything out. Everything is well rounded, right? But if it well rounded, like let's say the bottom part was in, she would focus on the the minimus, right? And you can tell like the the maximus, right? The middle part is very well rounded, right? Like that's the strongest part of her glutes, and then it eases in, right, to the medius. It eases into the medius, right? And same thing with her, right? This girl is she has a little bit more weight to her, but anything can look good depending on your right. She can easily look like any one of these girls if she's very intentional about it, right? She can easily look like that, right? So for girls, I don't know why these girls are paying money for BBLs that would complications in the future, right? And you're paying $10,000, $5,000. You should pay, you know, a program. You pay somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody that knows what they're talking about, a fraction of that, like $500 or something, $1,000, and you're literally gonna stay like that forever. You're gonna be healthy. You're not gonna have no complications, right? Like a BBL is just really, really, really doesn't even look good either, right? And now if you're going to guys, right? That's my boy right here. Um, he, I don't know what's going on here. He's just completely skinny, right? He has no weight to him at all, right? This is a classic, you know, frame that, you know, somebody would want, right? Obviously, he's in that sport, so it doesn't really matter to him, right? But you can easy this guy, right? At this time, obviously, it's in the past, but if he wanted to look like any one of these guys, right? That's me. If you guys are curious, this is me. That's me again, right? Of course, I have to throw myself in there. But if he wanted to look like any of these guys, right? Like it's very, very doable. Things first, right? He needs to build his lats, right? I threw Bruce Lee in there. Build his lats up, right? To have that physique, build his lats up. We all have like good lats, right? He needs to obviously build his chest up, but his shoulders, right? He needs very aggressive shoulders. Like look at us. We all have very aggressive shoulders. You can't really tell right here, but I just put through this in there because of the lats. But focus on lats, all part of the lats, especially the side lat, because that provides, you know, width. That provides when you're looking from front view, right? Focus on chest, right? You see how his chest comes out. You see how my chest comes out. How my chest comes out again. The only thing that he has going for him right now is his abs, right? You can easily get there, right? And I didn't put any pictures of anybody overweight because, like, let's say if you haven't worked out and you are overweight on both ends, right? You basically look like this, right? But under all that fat, you look like this if you lost all the weight, right? So even if you're skinny or fat, you still need to apply what I'm saying. You need to apply thought to what I'm saying, right? And we're talking about this, right? We're talking about this, and I hope you guys really understood what I'm saying, right? If you guys have any questions, don't be shy. Like I'm very responsive in my comments. This is a full guide to transform your body and your dream physique, right? So I just gave you guys complete sauce. I gave you guys exactly what you need to know. It's basically three things, three main categories on what you need to know in order to transform your physique, right? Change your physique this year. Do not wait. Change it this year, right? And I told you guys in the beginning of the video, I run something called Valiant Physique, right? And I'm going to talk about it right now. So you can either do this by yourself or, you know, work with somebody that knows what they're talking about, right? So Valiant Physique, right? Valiant Physique. What is Valiant Physique? Valiant Physique is a program intended to get you to your dream physique within a couple of months, right? We apply literally all this knowledge that I just shared onto you to getting your goal, right? And we have a universal attractive template, UAT for guys and girls, right? And all right, look. So for guys, it's broad shoulders, wide lats, aggressive chest, visible abs, and strong legs. And for females, it's wide hips that seamlessly flow into the thighs, quads, and hamstrings, right? Well-rounded glutes and ratioed calves, right? So what does that look like? This is literally a Valiant physique, right? We like you have to have an intentional angle in how you look. You have to have an intentional angle in how you look between a guy and girl, right? And like this is universally attractive to all girls. This is universally attractive to all guys, right? So this is essentially a Valiant physique, right? What I just said, broad shoulders, wide lats, aggressive chest, visible abs, strong legs. For girls, wide hips that seamlessly flow into the thighs, quads, hamstrings, well-rounded glutes, ratio calves. So you can either take all of this knowledge and do it yourself or had guidance from Valiant Physique to achieve your goal, right? So what would guidance from Valiant Physique look like? We will define your gap for you, right? Create a detailed plan on how you will get there, right? provide macro plan and custom workouts. Would literally design everything for you. Will nurture you with calls, right? One weekly group call with experts, right, in this field, and one-on-one calls when needed, right? One-on-one calls when needed, right? And we're gonna get to you. We're gonna get you there, right? And I don't care how long it takes. You're like once you join Valiant Physique, you're going to get there. Like it's so just think of it as you just joining a program, and it's just only a matter of time until you get there, right? So we have a surprise for you, right? And I just want to mention something with the macros. If you guys need help counting your macros, right? Click that link in the bio and wait for the pop-up to actually pop up and fill that out, and we can actually count your macros for free to get you started. We'll count your macros, and we'll do a couple questions where you want to go, like weight wise, how much you weigh right now, how many hours can you allocate in the gym and whatnot, and getting started like that. And if you're curious about how you can join Valiant Physique, right? Yes, it is a program, and yes, it is not free, right? But right now we have a surprise for you. The program is 50% off right now, right? I don't know how much longer it is actually going to be, right? But yes, it's 50% off, right? So I just want to ask you something, right? What is your dream physique worth to you, right? Like if you were to put a price tag on it, what is your dream physique worth to you, right? The confidence, the look, the lifestyle. Some girls put a price tag on it, right? If you're a girl, if you're a female, like the price tag on it is no work and $10,000, right? For a BBL, or $5,000. Like that's the price that they put on it, right? Some guys are getting, I don't even know the male version of that, but like abs, counterfeit abs. Like there is a price to surgically do it, but would I recommend that? That's a big no, right? So what is that worth to you? What is your dream physique worth to you? Ask yourself that, right? Is there a price on it? If so, how much would it be? Can you put a price on it if you're really overweight, right? Can you put a price on that? So since you made it to the end of the video, right? So like I said, since you made it to the end of the video, right? The program is 50% off, right? 50% off, right? So you can get access to the program for the price of two pairs of shoes, or a piece of designer clothing, or a TV, right? Is two pairs of shoes or a designer shirt or a TV equivalent to your dream body? Can you even put a price tag on it? Like, what would you rather have if you're overweight or super skinny? A new TV, or, a new physique, right? Like, what does that equivalent to, right? So I want to tell you, right? If this is something that you're interested in, go to our site and book a meeting to see if Valiant Physique is a match for you. Maybe it's not, right? If it is, it is. If it's not, it's not, right? If you would like for Valiant Physique to count your calories, as I said before, or figure out your gap, right? Click that link and fill out the pop-up, and we'll reach out to you via text or email, right? And that's me again. And hold on, let me see. And that's me again, right? I hope you guys liked the video, right? Get your dream physique, man. Get your dream physique. Don't waste your money on anything, right? I don't even know what to equivalent it to, right? Like, is your dream physique worth the amount of your phone? Because it's less than your phone. It's less than an iPhone. It's less than a bunch of things that you purchased, right? You can literally get your dream physique for, I don't even know if I should say the amount, but since you guys made it to the very end of the video, it's $500 right now. 500, not even $497. So is your dream physique worth $497? To me, that's a steal. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's a big steal for somebody to actually, you know, for you to join a program and get your dream physique. Get your dream physique, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe. If you guys want to, like, if you guys found this video valuable, share this with somebody that needs to see this, and I'll keep it I'll keep you updated. We're going up from here. All right. I'll see you.